What's happening, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hopefully your Monday went well. As a Packers fan, loving being 4-0, but we are here to talk a little baseball, and we'll move into some NBA playoffs here in a little bit as that series got very, very exciting the other day. So it's a good time to enjoy sports because there's a lot of them to go over.
Yeah, it's such a great time right now. We got tons of slates, tons of sports. It's awesome.
All right, guys. Day passes are up. We'll have members-only video for NBA. We got it for MLB. Check it out if you are interested. Otherwise, if you want all that stuff, we got the overlay promotion that we are going to continue to run. Looking for first-time players. You guys have heard us talking about them for years now. For me, what's so enjoyable about the website is like a lot of times when you're playing DK or FanDuel, like it takes a lot of work to try to compete with the optimizers and other things like that. If you're busy with work, girlfriend, wife, kids, whatever it might be, just looking to have some skin in the game, you can go pick up at the matchup shop. Pick a one-on-one matchup today. Like if you want to watch baseball, go pick one pitcher against the other, put your money on who your favorite is. You know exactly who you're rooting for the whole day. Like even though I lost last night, it was really enjoyable watching Edelman take on Tyreek Hill. Lost by less than a point. Hill scored that touchdown by about 2 inches. Edelman had another ball bounce off his hands. It would have made all the difference. Like that's the sweat that they're going for. It was very enjoyable.
For sure.
If you make a deposit, guys, screenshot it and send it to me. We'll hook you up with a free 5-pack membership. Subscribe to the station if you're new to it. Thumbs up is appreciated. So starting pitcher today. We spent a long time on the members-only video, kind of going through the ins and the outs of a bunch of these guys. There's really good arguments to be made on a variety of the pitching. And so I think for us, we like the idea of going with some lower-owned guys in GPP. And we don't expect Framber Valdez to be overwhelming chalk or anything like that. So we like the idea of going to a guy who has been striking out dudes in droves lately. He's got 31 Ks over his past 23 innings. I can totally see the Athletics being a little bit too aggressive today, kind of feeling like they need the dub, being down 0-1 in a 5-game series. Also, for us, like it's important, like he's not chalk. We want to maybe use a pitcher in GPPs who is getting less ownership, knowing that they're so close today.
Yeah, I will say you definitely like Valdez more than I do. I talked about this on the members-only video. I'm more interested in a couple Oakland bats. Oakland's not really a team I ever want to pick on, but I think that's the kind of mantra of the slate is that all the pitchers are in play. So pick your favorite, and I wouldn't really let projections or ownership or any of that stuff kind of get in the way of who you like. There's 8 pitchers on this slate. I think you can make reasonable and rational cases for all 8 of them. And the same goes for the offense, and that's just the truth of the matter.
Yeah, if you're stuck and you want to look to play chalkier guys in cash games and less chalky in GPPs, we can completely get on board with that today because when they're tight like this and it's hard to figure out who it is that you want to use, it's easier to lean on the ownership a little bit, in my opinion.
Guessing game when you don't. I'm not sure exactly how popular Valdez will be today. I just don't.
All right. Miami Marlins. The team's still not going to get any credit. They're in the playoffs. They won a series. So we're looking at John Birdie, somebody we mentioned the other day as well. Now, he's gotten a little bit of a price bump up in what his salary is, but that was to be expected. He's still really cheap, though, at $3,300. You can play him in second. You can play him in the outfield. For us, this is the cap space, but also a guy who can do a lot with a little. The Marlins are going to try to manufacture some runs. They're not loaded with home run hitters or anything like that. So when this guy, or if this guy can get on base, look for him to run. This is a guy that can turn a walk into 12 points.
Yeah, exactly. So, with Valdez and a couple other expensive pitchers we like, you're going to need some value plays. And Birdie fits that mold to a T, excuse me. Hitting at the top of the Marlins lineup, probably second. Gets the platoon advantage, big speed upside, as you mentioned here. Just a lot to like. And yeah, we wish he were still 2,300, but still very affordable at 3,300 and fits any type of roster construction.
He's if you were using Fried because you're playing him for stolen bases and you're not playing him to hit 3 home runs.
Agreed wholeheartedly.
All right, next up. So a guy you are playing for the home run is going to be Giancarlo Stanton of the New York Yankees. Quite frankly, the Yankees look like they're on a mission right now. They've got, I believe, 12, 11, and 9 runs scored throughout the 3 playoff games. Stanton is homered in every game of the series or every game of the playoffs so far. We expect Glasnow to get plenty of love from a pitching perspective, which makes us a little bit interested in the Yankees. Now, look, Glasnow out a lot of guys, which makes him a very good DFS pitcher. However, it's not like he's shut down. This isn't Max Scherzer. This isn't Justin Verlander. This isn't Jacob deGrom. He gets a lot of Ks and he's good, but he also gives up a lot of home runs. And he's already, Stanton's homered off him before and limited at bats. He looks locked in, and he's very affordable for his upside at 4,600.
Yeah, he looks locked in. Major grand slam last night off the hanging slider. Very affordable, as you mentioned, at 4,600. This is a guy that we know when he gets hot, he's known to be up in the 5+ K range. We like the idea of going to the contrarian Yankees because Glasnow is going to get a ton of love here. And listen, I like with your point. The Yankees look like they're on a mission. They've got the best or the second best lineup in baseball. They're very good. They got a ton of power, and they're going to make Glasnow work. So all of a sudden, if we see vintage Glasnow walk a couple of 3 guys in a row, that could spell big-time problems for him here.
Right. The Yankees look real good to start the playoffs. And I want you guys to really think about the starting pitchers that they have chased so far. Like Snell wasn't awful last night, but he wasn't good. And that was because of good Yankees. Bieber, who's been the best pitcher in baseball throughout the entire regular season, they chased him really quickly. Your boy Cookie Carrasco looked really good for a couple of innings. The next thing you know, he's getting pulled as he gives up a grand slam. So they just look like a really good baseball team, and part of that is because they are a really good baseball team.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, next up. So the flip side of that game is going to be the Tampa Bay Rays, who are in kind of a do-or-die mold in a 5-game series like this. One of their guys, pronounce his last name for me one more time.
Rosaria.
Rosaria. I felt like I've tried to say that 100 times and got it wrong 100 times. Dude's on fire. Back-to-back games with 3 hits, double digits in every playoff game, playing really, really well. And while Garcia's a nice young pitcher, he's been getting crushed lately as well. You kind of get a feisty Tampa Bay team with their backs up against the wall. Also, he's really cheap.
Yeah, he's really cheap, hitting in third for this Rays lineup. I'm a big fan of the Rays. I used him in a lineup against Cole last night, homered, another 20+ DK point game. In a better spot here, and his price has decreased. Coggin the machine type, if I were making one lineup today, I'd have a hard time not plugging him in there.
Definitely. I think we both kind of like the idea of offense from this game overall.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So next up, Alex Bregman, proven playoff performer. I mean, this guy's, they've been there a bunch of years in a row. He's typically been very solid and good through playoff stretches. Now, much to most people's non-delight, the Astros looked really good yesterday. I know a lot of people want to see them falter. They were hoping they'd get knocked out by Minnesota, then hoping the Oakland A's could take it to them. Well, right now, they're 3-0 in the playoffs and looking like the team that's been to the World Series twice in the most recent years. Bregman's one of many, many Astros that homered yesterday. He's got 3 career bombs off Sean Manaea. Now, I like Sean Manaea, but he's not one of the stronger pitchers on the slate necessarily. So going back to an Astros team makes sense today. We expect them to get plenty of love in this situation going up against the cheapest pitcher. Bregman's very good against lefty. There's plenty to like here, especially in the cash game format.
Yeah, a ton to like about Bregman. A big time, like you mentioned, playoff performer, a guy that gets up for the big spot, not afraid at all of the moment. Big day yesterday, and you were right. All of Houston looked really good. They looked like the vintage Astros, which we talked about on the members only video, and that's a scary proposition for the rest of baseball. We'll see if that continues, but it's not like they don't have good hitters. They are in a really shitty year, but Altuve looked good. Springer had his first career 4-hit playoff game. Bregman homered. Correa hit 2 bombs. I feel like Correa is a big part of this lineup. Like when he is going well, this lineup is a lot deeper and a lot better, frankly. So at 4,500, it's hard not to at least like Bregman here. There's 8 third basemen on this slate, so I don't think he's like the must of all musts. But man, in cash games, he's a lock, and in any Houston stack, he's a lock.
I was just kind of thinking, almost inevitably when every other year the Patriots go to the Super Bowl and you see one of those maps of people rooting for the Patriots and people rooting for the other team, and literally the only people rooting for Patriots are right out of the New England area and the rest of America is rooting for the team playing against them. If the Astros find a way into the World Series, it's exactly like that, just a shift on what city it is.
Yep, agreed.
So hopefully that doesn't happen for a lot of y'all. That's what we got for baseball today. We'll hit you up with some NBA playoffs showdown information a little bit later. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful Tuesday.
Thanks, guys.